Evening, everyone, and welcome to the HVAC Grapevine News. I'm your host, Eric Kaiser. Tonight on the news, we're talking about something that may or may not be new news, but it's news and we really need to be discussing a lot, and we really need to be thinking about it and acting on this. And that is labor shortage and education in the trades. So, what's happening? We have a lot of people leaving the trade right now due to age, retirement, pandemic, things like that. And they're moving out, and we're not bringing enough people into the trade. So combine that with a currently low unemployment rate, and we kind of have a lot of missing people and not a huge pool of people to bring into the trade. Now, we are seeing a lot of new education programs come into schools. We're seeing people switching from traditional college and traditional degree-based programs into trade-based programs, which I think is a good thing. I think there needs to be a balance between those because we need both types of people to keep the world going and keep the world moving forward. We're also seeing more accreditations happening in schools, especially trade schools and things like that. There's a lot of accreditations coming out right now from HVAC Excellence, which is run by the ESCO Group. If you're not familiar with them, they are the biggest trade school accreditation program in the United States. So that, I think, is a good thing. We are seeing that come out and help schools and really show people that the schools are trying to do a good job educating their students. Now, what can we do to support new people coming into the trade? First thing we need to really look at there, in my opinion, is attracting the right people. Now, HVAC is a STEM trade. Now, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. I like to think of HVAC as an applied STEM trade. And realistically, we go out there, we apply it. A lot of people think STEM is someone sitting in a laboratory or sitting behind a desk all day. No. It's not. We're a STEM trade. We use all of those things every day in our trade. Some employers now are starting up apprenticeship programs, internal apprenticeship programs into their companies. And if you get this approved through the Department of Labor, there's a lot of really great things that can happen. One, you can be found on a locator, but something else is it opens up a lot of opportunities for extra funding to help with that education within your company. So whether you're a business owner or whether you're a technician out there, putting something like this into place in your company can be a really great thing because it helps the whole company, it helps everyone in the company. So take a look into that. If you want more information, reach out to me, or I did a podcast with Bryn Cooksey from the Metro Detroit area earlier this year over on the HVAC School podcast. And you can listen to that and contact Bryn directly. He can also help you with that. Get involved with your local schools. Look at your local technical schools, see what they're putting out, see if they have a good program, see if they have that accreditation, things like that. And if you think that they need help or you think they need advice, get involved and become part of their advisory board. That advisory board is really there to advise the school and advise the instructors on what the trade needs in the field. So the advisory boards are a very vital, important part of schools because they give the instructor in the school a line of sight into the trade that they don't normally have, because that instructor is oftentimes kind of in a bubble working with the students on a day-to-day basis and can't get out into the field and see all the things that maybe they should be teaching. So work with that school, help steer that program through the advisory board. You can supply parts to schools. Work with your company or work with other technicians. Find out from the schools what parts they're looking for to help support those students, because the students really need parts, whether they're broken or good, to get hands-on experience with testing and controlling and things like that with parts. So if you're pulling parts out, they're bad, maybe you're pulling whole units out and they've got some good parts on them, or parts that the school can use for testing and practice, because that's really what we want to see in schools, is learning the theory and then applying it in a hands-on manner. Help save those parts for those schools. Work with your school and figure out what they need so that you're not saving a whole bunch of stuff that they don't need, though. Offer to get ride-alongs for the students, whether you work through your company or maybe your company can help to bring those students that are in the school into a ride-along program, or somebody that wants to go into school, so they can really see what it's all about and they can learn what they can get into and what they're getting themselves into. Assist in the classrooms. A lot of times instructors can use extra help in the schools. Maybe the schools are oftentimes not staffed as well as they could be. Maybe they're a little bit underfunded of where they could be. So it helps to have extra people coming in, especially from the field, to talk to the students and work to the students. Contact your local schools, work with them, work with the instructors, if the school will allow you to come in and help. Some schools will, some schools won't. It really depends. So figure that out on a local basis. Something else you can do is helping these students make mentorship connections. Mentorship connections are very important in our trade because it allows the knowledge to be passed from person to person. Personally, I've had a lot of mentors over the years. Some people don't even realize how much they've helped me just because I've been able to follow them through the internet or social media, read things and learn things from me. And that is one really great useful thing about the internet and social media today. Now, what about existing people? We have to keep the existing people in the trade, the people that are already here and not retiring in the next few years, going as well. So we need to work on keeping up with changes in the trade, keeping up with current times and current information. A lot of times that involves us taking an initiative in ourselves and really going out and looking for that knowledge, figuring out where to find it at, figuring out how to get it, and a lot of times being supported by our employers to do that. Once you get that knowledge, don't be afraid to share it. Share it around. Share something that's supported. Share the papers. If you have papers or information, maybe you can make copies or take pictures of them and share around your company if you have, or with other friends in the trade. One of the things we can also do as technicians in the field is look for ways to be more efficient. Because obviously if we're short of people, if we can be more efficient with our time, we can get more done in less time, or get the amount of work that we need to be done in less time. So we're always looking for efficiency upgrades or efficiency improvements. And we really want to strive to do things right the first time, because it's a whole lot easier to do something right the first time, and we don't have to spend time coming back and doing it a second time or a third time sometimes if it really gets screwed up. Yes, it may take a little bit longer to do it right the first time, but that's, in retrospect, a big savings in time compared to having to do something 2 or 3 times. Now, that's all I've got for you tonight. So we're going to head on over to the studios and on to the live show.
Right
hey,
on.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
What's up, fellas?
Hey, here we are again.
Doing it.
Give her a mustache real quick.
Okay, we're going to say it right now, okay? If stuff gets screwed up tonight, it's all my fault.
It's Eric's fault.
Chris is, we pretty sure, in witness protection in an undisclosed location, hiding out with a guitar, apparently.
It's a requirement. When I book a hotel room, it's like, do you have a guitar?
Oh,
and the answer is no, I can't stay there.
Oh, wow.
No, not
all
true.
Right.
It's a pretty cool place, man. I'm in Minnesota, where home base is at. Train the trainers this week. It starts tomorrow. So I'm in a little early. Got to hang out today. They had this huge 10-mile street festival going on. So it was a pretty cool day to hang out.
Nice.
Yeah, we saw those videos, man.
Nice.
Yeah, videos I can't share on here. It's an interesting dynamic here for sure, to say the least. So, all right, guys, tonight's going to be fun. I think we got some people in the group who want to, understand what we're about to get into.
We're about to get into some heavy stuff.
Yeah, we are.
We got a smart person on here tonight.
Yeah, we do. So here we go. Our guest tonight comes to us from a chemical manufacturing company that most of us probably have not heard of, but we've probably used a lot of their products, right? Fallon Dial is a forensic chemist for Highside Chemicals Incorporated. And she's here tonight to educate us on things we didn't even know that we were doing wrong. So without that, here we go. Let's bring Fallon onto the show. Eric, as the engineer tonight, there you go.
There, welcome,
everyone.
Fallon. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Fallon.
All right. Fallon.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Nothing much. Just working on the car this weekend. How are y'all doing?
Ooh, working on a car.
Doing good.
Sweet.
Working
what do
on
you
the
got?
car. I got a Mustang.
Nice.
I got a couple
And-
of them, but yeah, I got to get her pretty to get rid of her, unfortunately.
So when you're a forensic chemist, you just naturally make a lot of money, is what I'm hearing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
She said
And
she was
actually,
getting rid of the car, not buying another one.
yeah, I'm getting rid of it. I'm trying to be more grown in life. It's one of my goals.
Oh, phooey on that. Why grow up now?
I know. I'm
So-
trying. I try to keep a good balance, you know.
Let's talk about how Fallon found her way to the Grapevine show. So I met Fallon at HVAC Excellence, right? That's where we first
Yes,
met. And then me and Michael were talking about drain sludge. And I told Michael, I said, man, I think I know somebody who could help out here. So I put Michael and Fallon together. And I believe, right, Michael, you just sent a sample to Fallon.
Yeah. I've been having
Yeah.
a problem with the AC unit really bad.
Yeah, you've
So-
shared this
Tomorrow.
a few times. Yeah, she's getting the sample tomorrow. And
Yeah,
this
tomorrow.
this drain sludge is like aggressive. Tell us the story, man. Like, what's up with this drain sludge? Like,
So
you go ahead.
Yeah, I installed the unit a couple of years ago and have nothing but massive problems. It's really like I've known the lady for a while, and it's at the point where she's like, "Does Mike really know what he's doing?"
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like it's that bad.
No good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got like 18 years in the trade, you know. So
Mm.
it's like we abandoned the drain line. I went from a normal, gravity drain line goes underneath the slab of the house.
That's not normal.
Well, yeah, your neck of the woods,
I'm just saying that's not normal.
right?
It's only a Florida thing.
It's a
What is
Florida thing.
What is this gravity thing you speak
30
of?
Yeah,
30 feet long drain trap.
you know, that's a good point, man. I mean, it goes like 20, 30 foot under the ground, right?
Right, but
So,
it holds water in that 20 to 30 foot, right? It doesn't
yeah,
like it doesn't
It's
that
the-
never
it's
dries
the-
out.
it's the biggest P trap known to man.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the great thing that my customers like to tell me. Well, it's worked for 25 years. How come your AC is the only one that? Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah. So we took the drain line and we cut it and we went to a condensate. And that's what I put on the grapevine, like probably, 2 months ago. The whole condensate basin was just covered with 7/8 copper sitting in there, hammered down. So, yeah, it's laughing at everything I throw at it. So I'm so glad. Whatever box. What box is she in? That one there? Yeah.
That one over there, yeah.
That one over here? Not the dead
That's
raccoon.
throwing me off too.
Not the dead raccoon right there. Yeah.
Jessica Egan blames it on aluminum coils.
Jessica Egan was like, I was like, oh, please help me out. What do you
I
got?
have never seen anybody like to play with slime so much as Jessica Egan.
Yeah.
Like, I think she'd roll around in a vat of it if she had a vat of it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I think the aluminum's a big factor in all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because copper has its own antimicrobial properties to it anyway, just it being copper. So you had all these that were all made of copper, so it already kind of had those properties going into it. And then now you switch to aluminum, which aluminum's not terrible. It has great anti-corrosion properties. So it's kind of which one do you want kind of
What do you
thing.
want?
But
Yeah.
I feel like the drain line is a very big issue because that ends up being, a very big problem when you get a slow leak and nobody knows it. And then you got the whole floor getting replaced. I think that's definitely a big thing, but I'm glad Mr. Mike sent me some because we're going to actually figure out what it actually is. I want to know what it is. I'm getting the DNA extracted from it, and we're going to find out exactly what this stuff is so we can attack it right.
Doing that right now.
She's just pulling
I'm
DNA,
sorry.
man.
Yeah,
we're just taking DNA and we're doing a polymerase chain reaction on it.
Yeah, that's
PCR.
all.
Yeah, that's all. It's
Small
easy.
test.
Okay, so
Easy.
that brings up a question for me because I'm going to let you know. I didn't bring this up earlier, but I'm married to a chemist, so I get
cool.
now I get to hear both sides of it here, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of instrument are you using to extract the DNA from it?
Okay, so with this, it's one of those things where I actually did molecular biology a little bit back when I was working tox because of COVID. And I know how expensive those instruments are because I worked on them and, they're $500,000.
Yeah, they're not.
So I'm actually using I think the term is alma mater. I'm actually my old University of Southern Miss.
Nice.
I'm working with molecular and micro there because for this one issue, I may never use it again. So it wouldn't be necessarily a good investment for us to do PCR. So I'm actually working along with them to help me with this issue where I can do like gram staining and cultures and I can grow it. So that's why I needed some so I could keep my production going and I could always have some on me that I can do my testing and send out for Mr. Mike and everybody else to do their testing as well for me. Because field and lab are still very different. Yeah, and I know that. So
yeah, very different.
Yes, if you recreate it, is it exactly the same, or is there something that could be different when it's recreated like that?
That's a good question. I would say I couldn't necessarily give you a 100% answer on that. I feel like it could change just because of the auger. There could be things in there that change its makeup a little bit, but I feel like it's better than nothing, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
To where I can continue to have it. I think it would still have the same DNA structure and things like that and the properties that it has. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could change a little bit with the outlying factors, but I definitely try to keep everything as sterile and aseptic technique, all that stuff as much as you can.
Yeah, we want to find out who the father is.
Yes, 100%. I want to know the mom, the dad. I want to know all of it because I feel like you can only fear things you don't know. Yeah. So if we know what it is, then we can actually do something about it. But we're gonna sit here and question it, and we're gonna fear it because we don't know what it is. So once we know what it is, then we can go based off of those the information that they're able to give me back on it. Then we'll be able to really attack it.
So once you do that, do you do any testing like to see what kind of things in the air might it feed on to really see if there's anything like that, or is there a way to test for that type of thing?
I don't know. That's a good question because right now what I'm trying to do is get a lot of its characteristics, its physical properties, any characteristics about it, gram negative or positive. That's even just a big thing. I want to know if it's an endospore or not an endospore. Things like that, because endospores are very hard to get rid of. They're UV resistant, chemical resistant, all kinds of stuff.
UV
so
resistant.
I want to know. Yeah. So I want to know as much properties, characteristics of it as I can to where we can chemically fight it, but also be safe at the same time. Because that's a big goal too, is making sure everything's safe. Because my thing is you can go in there and throw alcohol on it, industrial grade, anything, you can do that, but it's not good for you either. So we have to have that balance.
And I think somebody said in the chat, what's an endospore?
An endospore,
they actually did. It was me.
So it's a type of bacteria. Basically, it's a type of bacteria, and it's just very aggressive. So it doesn't have UV resistant. A lot of things don't just affect it. It's very, very hard to get rid of. So it's just a certain type of bacteria.
Yeah.
And so the cell wall's different, all that kind of stuff. Hard cell wall, multiple layers, all kinds of stuff.
Because I don't want to tell everybody that has this issue, like, okay, let's just do a UV. It's like, I want to get into the root of it. I'm tired of it.
Me,
know?
yeah. And I actually learned about this from one of Mr. Brian Orr's videos that I saw when I was first learning HVAC
Me too.
back in
Yeah.
September. Yeah. And so I said, I feel like this is an issue. Let me start on that. Let me add this to my 15 list of other things I'm doing right now.
And we're
But
digging
this one's
deep on
actually
this.
on the top. Yes,
Mike,
this is definitely on my top.
next time you need a fall guy, just say the raccoon asked.
What was that? That's good. That's my fall guy.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here and kind of throw something out there. We got some questions prepared for Fallon tonight, and I feel like we're jumping into number one. I want to ask it.
Oh, and questions, ask them in the, I don't know, wherever your question box is.
Yeah,
you know, type them
right.
in there too to ask questions.
Put them in MySpace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's get them going.
We'll
All
get
right.
to 'em eventually.
What does the process look like when you are developing a new product?
That's a good question.
That's the question.
That's a good question because when I thought about that, I realized when I actually wrote it down, everything that goes in my mind, how much is actually involved with that. So it's a great question. So basically, my thing is I like to stay in the trends. I like to stay in HVAC industry and see what's going on. So first off, doing those trends, the marketing, the research, and all of that. So you have to. I'm big on see a need, fill a need kind of thing. So if there's something going on and there's nothing out there to fix it, let's find that product. So you got the one where it doesn't exist yet and you're trying to make it. But then you also have, so for instance, Subco is our domestic distributor. So they only solely deal with our chemical products. So they don't sell anybody else's. So in that sense, if they come to us and say, hey, you don't have this on your line, but we want to be able to offer it to our supply chains, then that's where we have to go in, see what they want. And then that is kind of where I will see the competing products that are out there. And I'll see, okay, where did maybe it fall short? How can I make it better? Things like that. So you have those two different ones. So in this case, with the drain sludge, there's a lot that's involved. So first off, you have your formulation. So when you're thinking about your formulation, there's a lot that's involved with that. So your first thing is your raw materials. So when you're doing your raw materials, you got to make sure it's cost effective. Is it a viable product to make? You got to make sure that a tech can go in there and afford this stuff. That's one of our big things is being cost effective. We don't want to, we're not trying to make a huge profit margin off this stuff.
Yeah,
we
if
make
it's
sure
$100 a bottle, yeah, it doesn't
you
matter.
can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can't do that. So cost effective first. So then after that, I'm still looking at my raw materials. All right, I need this to be safe for the techs. I don't want to have to give out a bottle that has 10 GHS labels on it. And if you smell it or if a drop gets on you, your hand falls off, right? Because, we can do that and it'll work, but it's not safe for you. So that's another big thing that I go into before anything else. And this is all in your mind right now. So none of this is even tangible at the moment.
And that's just high side chemicals. In other companies, they'll put a nice warning label on there that you got to read.
Yeah, and we do too. Sometimes you can't necessarily go 100% organic, and that's a big thing. Is it's sustaining shelf life, things like that. When you go fully organic, it's hard. But if I can keep it at an irritant,
right,
I try to keep it there. Like I don't want it corrosive. I don't want it, inhalation. I don't want that kind of stuff.
There's a lot that goes into it.
It's very there's much more.
I have three irritants at home. They're all below 10 years old. Just saying, So I've got a little experience.
Do you want me to send you some DHS labels for them? You can just put it on their forehead.
Slap that sticker right on it.
Warning: this one's an irritant today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you got anything for that, just send it my way.
Yeah, for sure. So pretty much after I get through with that thought process, so I have my formulation in mind. I've made it as safe as I can for a tech, all that kind of stuff. So then I have to sit back and think, all right, is this efficient for production? And luckily with Highside, I've really actually done everything there. So I've been on the production line. I've made stuff. I know how that all works. And that's a great, I guess, thing to have being the chemist now. So I can't go in there and make something that is, takes 3 days to make, doesn't really fit into the production line, is hard to fill, hard to cap, hard to, code, all that kind of stuff. So you have to make sure it's efficient with your production line. And then usually when you start very small. So then it's like, okay, once I make this in, say, a 8 ounce or 32, okay, how do I make 500 gallons of it?
Right.
And is that going to be easy to do? So that's another huge kind of aspect that's in that. And then once you do that, then you got to create your quality control specs, your viscosity, the odor, what it looks like, all of that. You have to create your SDS. So once I get done with that part, that's where Mr. Mike comes involved, and I send it to him. So I'm real big on field testing. We're very big on field testing. We like to get it out there. We like constructive criticism. We like to hear what you think, because I care about everything. Was the handle comfortable? How was the application? How long did it last? How do you think, what's your
Jessica Egan's going to help me out with this.
I could see Michael having that big drum attached to his van, right? You just
If you kill all the elephant snot, though, Jessica Egan's not going to be happy because she won't have anything to play with anymore.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Down with the elephant snot. It's going.
Yes, we got to get it out. But that's another big thing is field testing, because I don't want to go through the last few steps if it doesn't work. I'm not just going to slap a label on something and get it out there and it not actually work. I want to know that it works, because I do lab testing on my own equipment, but I also like to get it out. I like to have different hands on it. I like different opinions. I'm very big on that kind of stuff. So then,
and if it comes at around the $80 bottle, just throw it by us. Private message.
Trust me, you got to think so right now on my list, we're right here at field testing pretty much.
Price
so
is
cost
up.
Effectiveness, all that has already it's actually perfect. I'm excited about that part as well. But so then once we get all that done, say you give me the bottle back, this is awesome, this is great. So then you have to do your branding. You got to come up with a name for it. You have your trademarks that you have to get, and then you have graphic design that has to go involved. You want to make sure that when it's on the shelf, it doesn't get passed over. You want to make sure that people see it. And we're very big on, when you look at it, you know exactly what it is, you know exactly what it does. So when you see that label and you see the name, you're going to see just a little bit of everything right there. So there's no questions about what it is or what it does. And we also like it to pop a little bit, it's always fun.
So there's a lot that goes into it.
It is. It's a lot. And I wasn't realizing that until actually writing it all down after it was asked. I said, man, there's actually I think about a lot of things with this. And
that's
then pretty
a good
much
question, dude. She wanted a raise after that.
Yes. I'm realizing how much I'm doing right now. This is way too much. And then pretty much after, because I'm pretty much involved in a lot of it. I mean, as far as the graphic design, the name, I have a little bit of stuff going into that. I'm not the one that just formulates it. I'm involved with the graphic design. I'm involved with the name. I'm involved with the production. I mean, everything. So it's really good to be kind of involved with everything. I think I'm in a good spot where I am with the knowledge that I already have of the company. And then pretty much at the end of that, so once you're done with all of that, then you have to market it to your distributors. You have to tell them about it. And then a lot of times you have to travel and you have to train reps on site. We're real big on that. And then if you have to train, you have to go out and train and get the reps going so they can sell the product for the distributor. And that's it.
Don't forget to train the technicians too.
Yes. Yeah, we do those a lot with like AHR and ARS, but we also do a lot of the rep stuff too.
Yeah.
To make sure they know so they can go show, because we're not always traveling, but we do a lot of traveling, I think, to be honest. I think I had to go to Vegas twice this year.
Yeah, me too.
It's too much.
It's tough going to Vegas.
I know, man. It's great. You would think Vegas is a lot of fun, but I wouldn't say so anymore. Like I
agree, man. It was just
I
was ready to get out of there after two conferences out there this year. I was like, nah, I'm done.
That's good.
Same. And I live in a mini Vegas basically, so I'm Biloxi, so I got casinos.
Yeah, you are.
It's always good when married people say Vegas is not good. That's good.
Right answer.
Right. That's right. We all passed the test.
It ties
My
right
wife-
into Brian Orr's ethics and stuff.
Well,
like
I
that
love
podcast.
Vegas.
My
I really
wife
do.
went with me for one of them, and even she said it was boring. So,
Oh wow!
Oh,
All right.
I might have to
Next-
hang out next time we go. I can show y'all some fun places in Vegas. I like Vegas.
Eric, I think the next one's all you, man. Do you have the notes, or do you want me to say it? Because
no, I got it here. I'm good. Yeah.
I know this
So-
is a sensitive subject for
This
Eric.
is a sensitive subject, right? And then we're going to get into some other fun too. But so like
Okay.
one of the big things that Highsight, everybody and a lot of people I think know this product, but maybe don't know Highsight Chemical.
They don't.
Like
That's 100%
so
accurate.
what is the intended purpose for leak lock? She's cringing over here. I can see.
No, I'm not. It's just I wanted to have a better answer. So, a little backstory on it. I guess it was actually developed in 1937. That's when Highside was
Whoa!
created. It was actually 1937. So we've been in business for like 86 years now. And back in 1937, I think there were 3 products. It was Leak Lock, it was Trace, and Thaw Zone, I believe. But it was created as a thread sealant. Unfortunately, it was created for exactly what it's advertised as. But what happened, now I will tell you, I guess, a cool story about it is it was invented or created just as a thread sealant, but it ended up working on everything. The only thing it will not work on is when water is with ammonia, because it ends up making ammonium hydroxide. That's the only thing it will not work on. But it basically lasts forever. I guess I can't say that in a way. It virtually does. But, I mean, I have tubes of Leak Lock in my workshop that are probably twice my age
Damn!
that are still there.
So
Wow!
so
It's UV resistant,
Here's
high
what I-
vibrations, and
Seriously?
does a good. Yeah. It's a pretty cool. It's a
you
great
got some help there, Michael.
Special guest number 2.
All right.
You gotta
Yeah,
go to
because
bed.
I mean, like,
She wants her raccoon
I
back.
guess maybe people just misuse it a lot
finding
because I see it on like
You can
flare
make your
fittings,
living when I find
you know,
that.
and
Shh.
it's not for like flare fittings, I don't think, right? Because
and you're right.
steel
'Cause
on the
I
thread.
actually, yeah. So I'm actually on the HVAC uncensored, and somebody put it on a Schrader valve, and then somebody commented on there and said, "That's Leak Lock. It's made for Schrader valves." So I had to go on there and say, "Hey, it's not made for Schrader valves," because the problem is you can use it, but you have to use it right too. But my thing is, once you do that, nobody can go behind you and get
No.
it out. I mean, it's
That's Eric's.
semi-permanent.
I've like
Dang.
torn up threads pulling stuff apart, and
Yeah.
I just like hate the stuff sometimes because, and I guess it's mostly because people misuse it more than you know, it's a good
no,
product.
It's not
if
for
used intended.
flares.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not good for like heavy hands. So a lot of these things you can use them on, but the thing with Leak Lock is its viscosity. So if you get it into a system, it may not hurt it, but then when you start getting into that TXV and you have those capillary tubes and you
Right.
got too much going in there, it's going to mess it up. Now,
Yeah.
however, I will say that we actually just came out with a new specialty sealant that you can just squeeze the whole tube if you want, and it's actually 4 flare fittings and gaskets. It's called Leak Lock Advanced Specialty Sealant.
Really?
So it's kind of yes, sir. It's compared to like Nylog, trademark.
Oh, okay.
like, refrigeration technologies, just in case I need to say all that. But and that one you can be heavy-handed. It can get in the system and it's not going to do anything to
Oh
it
wow!
because it's
That's
derived from refrigerant oil and everything too. So that's another option is for flare fittings, O-rings, gas.
Is that so mineral oil or POE? I think that was from Eric straight from his mind.
Yeah. Well, so my thing,
POE.
like my thing back to the original Leak Lock, it is strictly for basically tapered threads. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. It's basically like when you would put Teflon tape on.
Yeah.
Instead, you would use that.
Okay.
Now, a lot of
okay.
people do like more, I guess, senior techs. They'll use it in applications that they're not necessarily supposed to, but they know how to use it. So it ends up okay sometimes. I can't say that for everybody, but I do know stories from other people that I've seen. But I
call
mean,
it-
it's a great product and it lasts forever.
Oh,
you know,
it'll
with
hold up
virtual.
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
call it the
that-
Hail Mary move, because it's the last
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do know exactly where you're coming from, and me being involved, because I've only been in it since September, but I am seeing where people are using it incorrectly and where it does and can possibly cause problems with the system for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they get it
But-
into, I mean, I've seen people get it into Schrader valves, into the core, into all
Yes.
kinds of places. And oh my goodness, it'll mess a system up terribly. If it gets into expansion valves, like you said, it messes everything up. And that's,
Yeah.
again, that was misapplication. So that's what I was curious about, is where is it really designed to be used? And I think the tapered thread thing, like if you have a gasketed fitting, or you have, like a flare fitting where the seal is done on the flare, not on the threads, it's not designed to be used on there.
No, because once you push it in there, it's going to come over.
Right.
And it's going to get in there. But like I said, the advanced specialty sealant, that's kind of what that's made for. And now you can put as much as you want on there.
Gotcha.
And it's a great product. We actually just unveiled it this past year at AHR.
Is that what they call Leak Lock Gold, or what is that?
No, so Leak Lock Gold is actually, it's the same as the blue, except it has Teflon in it. That was actually formulated for plumbers.
Okay.
Because they love Teflon, and a lot of times they won't touch anything that doesn't have Teflon in it. So
Right.
I just changed the color and I put Teflon in it. So same awesome product, just has Teflon.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just looking on.
Plumbers
I'm
love
actually on your
Teflon.
website over here.
They love it.
Looking for that right now. So.
Yes. Yeah, because we've actually added a few products with the Leak Lock name. Because they're so great. So the Leak Lock specialty sealant, and we also have the Leak Lock PVC cement, the one step. So anything that kind of has those great products, we're kind of adding that into making it a full line.
Those must not be on here yet then, because I don't see them on the.
No, sir. They should launch tomorrow. They
Okay.
should be on there tomorrow.
That's right, because you said your website is currently under a demo mode because they're upgrading, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. And we
tomorrow-
should be launching tomorrow. So.
Okay, awesome. So
And
tomorrow.
just to let everybody know, that's highsidekim.com. If you want to go look at Fallon's product lineup, they're revamping the website. Is that what's going on, Fallon? Right?
Yeah, we just wanted to kind of make it a little bit more modern. And also now we have a contact us option where you can click if you have any messages, any questions, and say you don't like to talk on the phone, or say you're okay with getting an answer, in an hour or so. It'll go directly to our emails. And then also you can, if you want to become a distributor, you can actually fill out all the information strictly from there. We didn't have that before. And then just, a little bit more modernized, a little bit prettier, because the other one was a little dull. And I said, hey, we need to make this look a little bit better. We got to get with the times.
And if anybody's got questions, we'll just have her back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get her on like a little
And
segment.
I always tell anybody, email me. I'm always working. So
It'll be Ask the Scientist questions. Little segment.
yeah, sure. I know a little bit about everything, a little bit.
Fallon's like our Bill Nye, man. Bill Nye, the science guy, right?
Yeah. You did a little CSI, right? Did I see that?
I did. Because
Damn.
forensic, I guess just to throw that in there real quick, forensic actually, I know a lot of people don't know this. It just means in a court of law. So if so basically a toxicologist and a forensic toxicologist are the same thing. So forensic tox, they just will go to court and say this person had this much in their system, yada, yada, yada. So technically in the field, an analytical chemist kind of gets a little bit more hierarchy than forensic, but I don't want to say regular people, but people that don't know about it, forensic actually sounds cooler. So you pick your battle. It depends. If I'm more in a science area, I'm an analytical chemist. But if I'm talking to like friends, I'm forensic, because they're like, ooh, that's cool. But if you tell an analytical chemist you're forensic, they're just kind of like, it's weird. And I know if there's any forensic people like that ever watch this, they're going to be like, yeah, 100%. It's just a weird stigma. I don't know. It's the same thing.
Every trade has their weird stigmas.
Hey, I've had to do some depositions over falsified claims in HVAC. So does that make me a forensic HVAC technician?
Maybe.
I'm thinking that's what I'm going to
Sure.
say from now
Why
on.
not? Let's just make it.
Yeah,
Is that why you're in witness protection now?
that's it. I got to get
We're
off here.
figuring it out.
It'll be in
But
the
yeah,
news
actually, I did
tomorrow.
do CSI for a little bit, but not long. I wanted to do a little bit of everything. So I did work CSI for a little while.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right,
It's cool to learn all the aspects.
next up, Fallon. Here's my third and last question that we've came up with for you. It's a
Okay.
three-parter, right? 3.
Okay.
What is bleach down the drain? Why is bleach down the drain such a bad idea? What chemically is taking place that's so harmful? And what is the main cause of the formation of drain sludge? It's kind of a three-parter, however you want to answer it. Those 3 wrapped in
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I can just start with one and work my way down because I know the drain sludge is kind of the big, so we can kind of end on that one.
Yeah.
So basically, my thing with the bleach, and it's, facts as well, but, there's definitely some opinions in there. So first off, when you mix bleach with certain cleaners like vinegar and stuff, it can actually, because you don't know, especially if you're doing residential, you don't know what someone else is doing when you leave either. So if you put bleach in the drain or something like that, so it actually, if you mix it with vinegar and certain things, it actually creates a very dangerous gas, a very dangerous fume. And then also you got to think you got that in your air handler, and that's going everywhere in the house. So another thing with bleach, just in general, it has a very bad odor. A lot of people are super sensitive to it. And then my biggest thing with it is it's dangerous. It's corrosive. The fumes are not good. Long-term tech, say you do this for 50 years, you use bleach every day, you're going to have cancer, 100%. I would bet money on it.
And what's the pH
it
of bleach
is
again?
Isn't it a little bit more basic, actually? I don't know. I'd have to
Oh,
look at
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Might be.
it's extremely, because it's alkaline. But yeah, it's just, to me, like, those are kind of the first things that I think about is, safety, doing all that. So then if you want to get technical with it and think of it, okay, as, say, for instance, this drain sludge issue that we're having, if you want to use that to clean, unfortunately, it's not going to do what you need it to do because bleach degrades within 24 hours. So if you want to take all the dangerous, corrosive, if you want to take all that out and just think of it as a product to clean this problem, it's not going to do what you need it to do. It's not preventative.
Last long. It's quick.
Yes, it degrades within 24 hours. So it'll clean right then, but then tomorrow it's not cleaning. And a fun fact about bleach, so if you have a spore, there's 3 parts to a spore. You have a flower, a stem, and a root. Bleach only kills the flower.
Oh,
so
wow.
It doesn't kill the stem and it doesn't kill the root. So it's basically just kind of cutting the head off, and then everything else is just going to come back.
I'm going to be on YouTube all night now. Damn it.
But yeah, my biggest thing with it, as far as why you shouldn't use it in that sense, is that. So then we can kind of move that into what's chemically happening. That's the second question. And we can kind of transition that into also why you shouldn't use it. It is extremely corrosive. And that's even talking about the 8% bleach that like me, regular people can get at home. So if you think of an HVAC tech, they could probably actually get industrial grade bleach, which can be almost double, up to like 25%. So that's even more dangerous.
Right.
So basically, I'm going to do a quick chemistry lesson. I'm not going to try and bore it. So basically what you got is you got bleach. So that's, I'm trying to make it fun. All right. So basically you have bleach and it's sodium hypochlorite. So basically you have a sodium atom here, and then you have your hypochlorite, which is chlorine and oxygen. So your sodium is a +1 because it's over here. Sorry, I know I'm opposite. And then you have your hypochlorite, which is a negative. So your positive and your negatives are coming together. They attract each other. So what's happening right here is an oxidation reduction reaction. So basically your oxygen is running around trying to find somebody because it has an extra electron outside of its valence stuff that's going on. So basically it is taking that +1 charge from sodium and it's causing an oxidation reaction. So anytime you have an oxidation reaction, you are going to have corrosion. So basically what's happening with your metal is that oxygen is actually reducing, so that's your reduction part, is reducing the electrons from the metal, and it's taking those electrons, which is reducing the oxygen.
Wow.
And it's causing an oxide to form, and it is, basically corroding your metal.
So it's actually pulling something from the metal itself.
It's taking the electrons from it, yes. So that's why PVC isn't really affected by bleach, because it's not positively charged.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So anytime that you have oxygen involved,
going back to school.
Yeah.
Going back to
I know I
school.
should have got my periodic table. I didn't even think about that. It's around here somewhere.
Come on.
I think I'm gonna text Steve right now. We got to get me in some classes.
Come on, Mr. Rogers.
It's all about.
Wait.
All about knowing
Did you say Steve and you got a Captain America shirt on? Oh, come on. Come on. All right, we got to go to the top 5.
Oh, that's right, man. Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5. Okay, ready for the top 5? We're ready for the top 5.
Yeah,
Let's
top 5.
go. All right, Mike, you're up.
Top 5 things that grind my gears in HVAC service.
Oh, man.
So
this
this
should
for
be
the
good.
service guys and gals, right, Jessica? Number 1, customer saying, I just need a little bit more freeze on.
Ooh.
I love hearing that on the way to the call, right?
Yeah.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. That's
5
all I
out
think
of
it
every
needs.
10 calls.
Yeah,
5 out
right.
of every 10.
That's a mental thing. Like I had some guys tell me one time that they think they need it every year. So I just walk in a yard with a tank and a set of gauges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just like not put it. Yeah,
you're
you
good to
got
go.
it.
It'll work great now.
You got your freeze on.
It's like a moral decision. Are you telling me you billed them for £1 just to make sure that it all went over well?
Yeah, but this was like back in the 80s when you.
Yeah. £1 was $5. Sold.
Pound wasn't even $5, man. They cool beer with it every day. You think I'm joking?
No,
Chris knows I'm not.
I know those days, man. I can remember the days I just used to top people off because I didn't want to change evaporator coil.
Yeah. Oh, hey now. Not in warranty.
Oh, you're one of those.
I did it.
Can't do that anymore.
Everybody.
Hey, just use some R3 that we have. It'll fix you right up.
Yeah, no problem, right? Number 2, you get a no cool, right? And coil's frozen. And then you check it out. Everything's fine. And then you get finished up and you walk out to the van and you just look inside that garbage can and you see that black filter.
Yeah, man.
Dude. I got well.
I'm calibrating my handometer.
That black filter.
So, and then for the next like 3 days, you're checking everybody's trash can, right? You go to the job.
Dude. You too?
I've done, you go to people's house and you get in the habit. You're like, look in their trash can before you even go in their house and say, hey, I just noticed you just changed your filter. Have you done that?
Dude, we have those like waste management lids, what you had to pull up, and I started doing that. I'm like, all right, no cool. Black filter, no joke.
I'm serious, man. I'd get in a habit of just looking at people's trash cans before I walked in the house. I'm like, so I noticed you changed your filter like today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me before I get started?
Did you add any freeze on?
Yeah. Do you have any Freon in your shed that you want to give me now before we go into that conversation? And because you're going to tell me, well, I got some in my shed and I'd like to get rid of it.
Oh, you've been on one of those calls too?
Oh,
I got this jug of 22 sitting here right next to the condenser.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? So you're saying you can't use it? What do you mean I'm on a different type of Freon? Well, do you want to buy it? And I'm like, no, sir, I don't want to buy your rusted drum of 22. Actually, today I might want to buy it. How much you want to sell it for?
Yeah,
I love the one with the 70s like meme on the side. You know, it's so rusted.
I've still got an old jug that a customer gave me that it's about 6 inches in diameter, and it's actually got the connection is straight on the top of it. There's no handle around the connection or anything. and it's about, I don't know, 1.5 feet tall.
Yeah,
Pop it on the grapevine, baby. I want to see that.
I'll have to dig it out, take a picture of it. Customer gave it. It's got something in it. I never figured out what gas is in it. I'm assuming it's still got some 22 in it. But I was like, he's like, I don't need this anymore.
I ran a service call one time, and this guy had an R22 unit, and he still had a whole bunch of looked like automotive cans, right? And he's like, "Hey, I want to burn this down." And I was like, "You know what? This is interesting. Yeah, I'll burn it down. Give it to me."
All right, number 3 on the top 5. Service call, right? And the customer says, I just found that online for $5.
Oh man.
The online
service call for $5.
Well, you did it then.
Your call then.
Well, the part.
Just walk away. Just walk away.
That capacitor's online for $5.
Well,
I don't know if we've ever figured out the perfect answer to that.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty lengthy, but yeah. And number 4 on the top 5 is on call, being on call. And service guys,
it gets old after a while.
Yeah, they feel it. They feel it.
I was at one company I was at. I was literally on call every other week because we had 2 of us in the call rotation.
Yeah. No, the worst is when like you're on call a lot and you have that one guy who constantly says, "Hey, you want to take my call?"
Yeah,
dude. And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to take your call.
I worked at like an AC and plumbing place, and they were like, "Man, we don't have any plumbers, man. You want to do plumbing?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And they were like, "Hey, man, we don't have anybody to do the on call for plumbing and HVAC." So I was on call for a month straight. Bro, it was like mushrooms growing in my seat in my van. I'm like veering off the side of the road, dude. On call for a month straight it's not healthy.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah,
are y'all ever able to gamble with it, or do you always automatically at least get one call when you're on call? Would you ever have a day where you wouldn't get a call?
Oh yeah.
Well,
for me anyhow.
Shop,
yeah.
A decent shop you do
curious.
like once a month.
I would say, you can get creative. I'm not telling people what to do, but like I don't know. When I was younger, you could twist your words well enough to make sure somebody probably didn't want to get you out there. I mean, come on. You could say, "Hey, let me go ahead and let you know."
Coming from the guy that owned the business,
I'm actually in Destin right now.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and tell you what the call out fee is. And if you could describe to me what's going on, because if I come out and I can't, and I don't have the part, there's nothing we're going to be able to do today, but I'll still have to charge you to come out at this rate. And then people start going, and you're like, that's, I could probably get you first on the list for Monday morning. And usually that second sentence is like, there you go. Monday morning it is.
Yeah. In Florida, it's
you're not lying. You're not lying.
No, it's justified. I mean, it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, stretching it is perfect.
Stretching it.
And
then you're actually saving them money,
You are, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
You money, miss.
Saving money, saving a marriage. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Just pull that float switch out of that drain line. You see that white pipe? See the white pipe?
Just do tech support over the phone. Hey, you got FaceTime?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that a bunch.
And you're sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
All right, and then somebody kind of got it. Top 5 was, "Hey, bro, can you cover my on-call?"
Oh,
That's the top 5 things that grind my gears in HVAC service right there, bro. So that's it.
Good list.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
That's a top 5.
We used to have guys at one place I worked at that would pay you to take their own call. Like they kick you $100 or something like that to take their own call. I'm like,
been there, done that.
Take the spiff from the owner.
Got to be some give and take.
Double dip.
That's right. All right, guys. So here's want to make an announcement before we kind of shut this thing down. We're closing in on our hour, but let's let Fallon talk about her new product reveal.
Oh, she's got new products,
new
stuff.
Reveal. Yeah.
Oh, she lost her earbud.
Uh-oh.
She's like, she can't hear us now. She's all gone.
Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties.
Looks like everybody's gonna miss out on
Yeah.
that product review.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, barely.
We can hear you.
Hold on, give me just a sec. Can
Technical
you hear me?
difficulties. Yeah, now we can.
Yeah, we
All
can.
right.
In the meantime, this episode is brought to you by Michael Hooch.
Are we good now?
Yeah.
Michael
I think so.
Hooch.
Hold on. My headphones went out.
Oh, you're okay.
Michael House.
All
the
right. Can y'all hear me?
House's assistant.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can you hear us? Uh-oh. Maybe she
You
can't
can hear
hear
me?
us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I think you're back now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Continue.
All right, Fallon.
My headphones croaked.
Tell us your product reveal. Let's
Yeah,
hear
you
it.
got a new product there?
What do we got seeing coming down the pipe? What are you bringing to the world of
Yes,
HVAC?
We actually have a lot coming, of course, but this is something that we're about to launch now. So this is the first that everybody's seeing. So it's going to be our instant repair product here. We went ahead and changed one of our older ones, the Instapatch, we changed it to instant repair because it actually is a permanent repair. We believe the name was kind of misleading in the field and people were thinking that was just patchwork. And then I also wanted to make sure that it was very tech appropriate. So when you're out in the field, you use it, you got the two parts, you got the pieces and parts, you can toss it back in the canister, throw it in your bag and keep going. Before it was in a blister pack. So it had 3 parts and they're little bitty bottles that you would have it to hold. And then there's also some additions. So basically you have your label and everything, and then you'll have your instruction booklet in here. And then you'll have your A and B part right here.
So it's good on copper and aluminum.
Pretty much any rigid surface. It'll do PEX, PVC, pretty much any type of rigid surface it'll work on. The only thing is you have to have the pressure off the system and just kind of wipe it clean because it has to have that good foundation to start on. But yeah, pretty much any rigid surface, it's great, just as long as the actual thing doesn't get moved from its main substrate. So like PEX, you can use it, but it can't be on a bend part if you were to bend it.
Everything HVAC related, but it will not patch my relationship with my family. Okay.
It might. I don't know.
It might. If they got a leaky coil, we can patch things over.
Yes, it's like here. Let me get in here real quick.
So would that just out of curiosity, would that work on like refrigerant or will it hold that kind of pressure?
Yes, it actually holds up. So the cool thing about it is in 20 seconds it holds 800 psi. Which is pretty much all you're ever going to need. But in 20 minutes, it's fully cured at 1800.
Call me impressed.
It's great. And it's one of those things, and I get it. I totally understand. If you told me this, I wouldn't believe you either. But we go to a lot of trade shows and we do this on hand and show people, and that's when they believe it. But there's actually, and then it comes with the 60 grit sandpaper. So this was the original kit before. Sorry, wrong bag, with your sandpaper and your my bad. And your AB part here. So I also was starting to think, okay, well, not everybody's is going to be. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. These are weird. So I started thinking like everything's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be where your pipe is right here and you can get to it easy and put these spouts down. So I ended up designing an applicator. Now this is just a 3D prototype, so this is not actually what's going to look like. The real one is going to be silicone and it's going to be black.
That's cool.
But basically what this is going to do is going to help you apply to anything that's under or vertical. So that's what these are for, and they're beveled.
Nice.
And basically you'll put it up on the pipe and that'll allow those bonding beads.
I've got an evap coil right now that's a year old and 1 month that I could probably use that on.
Yeah, well, if you ever want to sample, let me know. I'll send you.
Because I've got the warranty coil in my garage, so I could try it out and then let you know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what that makes me think? Tight spaces and geothermal. That's where my mind's going.
Yeah.
When you can't get in there with a torch, you're in somebody's mechanical room. You don't want to make fumes and you just want to make a joint. Yeah.
Like
you could weld it, but like you don't really want to put a torch in that spot being in the building.
That's what I got. I got a U-bend on a train coil, and it's just a really crappy factory weld. It took a year to find.
Yeah.
So how do you apply that? Is it like a thick paste? Does it have to go all the way around the tubing, or does it just stick to the
No,
surface
sir.
of the
We
tube?
actually have an epoxy putty that does that, but it's just on there. So gashes, it can actually be built on top of itself too. So if you had a big one, but if you had a huge one, I would use the epoxy putty so just for efficiency. But basically what you'll do is I actually should have brought a pipe with me. But you take the 60 grit sandpaper, and like I said, you have to have it no pressure because it has to at least stabilize for 20 seconds.
Right.
And then you just want to wipe any like residual stuff off, anything, just kind of clean it up really quick.
As you know, we have so much oil on leaks, so we got to
Yes.
get that off. Do you
Yes.
recommend anything like a solvent to clean that surface?
Acetone, ethanol, anything like that. Something
Okay.
quick, that'll dry quick too. You definitely. I'm all
Awesome.
about efficiency and time. But basically, you'll just take the 60 grit. You're gonna rough up that area, gashes, anything like that. You just want to rough it up really good.
Yeah.
And then also with this kit, and this is especially for the vertical parts, is I have a non-absorbent brush head that will allow
Nice.
you to use the part A underneath, vertical, all that kind of stuff. And it's just disposable. You throw it out. But basically, you'll put A on there. Once you put A, then you're going to toss B on there, which is the bonding cells. And they only have an affinity for each other. So you don't have to worry about this stuff ever getting on anything and messing it up. It's just going to fall. And then everything's okay. Nothing's going to hurt you, anything like that.
Cool.
Just, mild irritants, things like that. But, we have to say that.
So what about
Just top it back off with A, and then right then and there, within 20 seconds, you have an 800 PSI hold on it. And
First time you ever seen it, right on the grapevine, right here.
yes. Yeah, this one anyway. Yeah, the new one with all the new cool parts. But it's a really great product. It's definitely one of those where people have to see it to believe it, and I understand that. But when we do it at shows, people are mind blown about it. I had one dude, I always mess up my gel manicure every time I do these.
Yeah.
And then some guy had this cool knife and he ruined it because it ends up being a quartz type material. So it actually is stronger than the substrate that you're putting it on most of the time. And it will probably more
That's
than
cool.
likely
And
outlast.
what's the name again? The chat wants to know.
So it's HVACR Instant Repair.
Cool.
It's a two-part, three-step.
And we'll
but,
be able to get it when? Soon?
So you can get it right now, not in this kit. We're actually about to launch it to Subco soon. So it will
Subco.
be, I'm just waiting on these to get in. But if anything, we might go ahead and launch this with just the original pieces.
Cool.
And then we'll add the two other parts once we get this in, because this does take time. It's mass production, molding, and it took me a minute to get this designed and get it out there. But it works great, and it took me about 2 months to get this together perfect the way I needed it. So now
That's
I'm on
awesome.
mass production. So hopefully I'll get that in pretty quick, and then we can launch the whole thing. But if anything, we are going to launch it like this fairly quickly. And we're in pretty much anywhere you can get leak lock. That's what I tell people. Anywhere you can get leak lock, you can get our stuff. Subco's our domestic distributor. So we're in Johnstone, HG Supply, all that kind of stuff. And as far as what y'all were talking about with the tours, that was a big thing. That was our HVAC excellence theme, was no flame because of everything that's going on. I mean, Kroger and Walmart, they don't even allow techs to use flame on site anymore. HD Supply went flameless. So this is actually part of our flameless
Wow.
product line.
Who in the industry is using epoxy type fittings right now? Because I'm just a residential guy.
I don't think anybody's using epoxy fittings per se.
Okay.
They're using the crimp fittings.
Crimp fittings.
Yeah, and see
type deal.
That one, that's actually an interesting story. So we have the red epoxy, which is an older product, but we also have HVAC Super Pro, which that one is really amazing to see. So basically that's where your install is completely chemical, and it's based off of an anaerobic reaction that's taking place. It's super cool. If you go on our website and look at the videos, you'll be able to see it. It's basically where no flame, and you can actually put your pieces together.
I've actually have the red, but
So
red epoxy. Yeah,
I got a question for you, Fallon, on the scratch pad. And this comes from a welding thing. Like, you don't want to mix steel and copper. You don't want to mix steel and aluminum or any of those metals together. So if you use that scratch pad, say on copper one day, do you want to go ahead and use that onto an aluminum tube the next day or down the road, or should you keep a separate scratch pad for each type of metal?
That's actually a good observation with that. We only give this much, but that's also why I wanted this, because I want to add more sandpaper in there too. So that's actually a good observation that I can mention now.
Because like when I do
I
aluminum,
understand what you're saying.
you know, when I do aluminum repair, I have one brush that I use for aluminum repair, and I don't use it on anything else other than aluminum. And I know aluminum's probably the most, I'll say, finicky, but
Yeah,
I try to do the
is.
same thing with copper, right? If I'm using it on copper, I don't use that on I don't use it on steel. I don't use it on aluminum because I'm trying not to cross over.
Yeah.
And I know some of those sandpapers have like aluminum silica, or what's the word I'm looking for? They actually they use aluminum in them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, fibers and stuff. Yeah.
Part of the abrasive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, I'm with you. I definitely wouldn't want to necessarily mix stuff. So that is like I said, that's actually a great observation. That, like I said, this was why I wanted this, because we wanted to add more to this, because our HVAC Super Pro has like 2 yards or rolled up, and you can just pinch off what you need. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this, was add multiple ones in here. So if there's, say, maybe we can do 3 instead of 1. Thinking about how many different metals people use, because we want this to be more versatile. And that's why I developed this and everything, because it's a really great product. And especially with everybody going back and forth with the no flame, we're wanting to make sure that we can, have everything for everybody. So we have no flame options, but if you do want to use a torch, then we have that for you. We have solderling, we have heat shield, we have all these different products that help you with that. So, we try to remain versatile in the market as well. But that's kind of our big thing right now, is the Super Pro and this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Getting it out there. Yeah, because they're great products and they work really well. And we're actually working on possibly getting them into consumer, automotive, and things like that, because they're so easy to use.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the coils that are coming out from every manufacturer are pretty solid right now. So it's going to be, hard to sell that product.
Yeah.
What
is it? 30
leaks right now.
And they're telling the that they
Mike
want
has gone
to
off the
fix
deep
them on
end. We're
site. You know what's happening right now?
And there goes all of our sponsors.
Yeah.
Hey, but my thing is, the manufacturers are actually telling these techs to fix them on site.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I learned that at HVAC Excellence. Actually, they were saying that if you have the stuff to fix it, go ahead and do it, because I think they're saying at least 20% that's coming out is bad.
Well, I'm afraid to replace my 17-year-old AC.
We're still seeing backlash from the pandemic, where they were way behind production. Well, the problem is that our manufacturing facilities run on an on-time basis, and they don't keep backlog of stock. So when they shut down sometimes for weeks or months, that just messed everything up for months down the road.
Yeah.
And we're still seeing issues from that. And it's that's a whole different issue though. So let's not go down that road.
Whole nother episode.
We gotta save something for round 2, man.
Yeah. Like getting a condenser and it's flat on the refrigerant.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
You call the store and they always say, "Just go with it, man. It happens. Yeah. There's no leak in it. Just go with it.
Just go with it."
No,
just put a little freeze on in there.
Yeah. I've never done that, man. But I've had people tell me, like, "Oh, look, we get that all the time. Just send it, man. It's not a leak." And it's like, what? No, it's definitely a leak.
Yeah. All right.
Man.
All right, man. Well,
all right. I think we are finished up for the night, unless anybody has anything else before we get out of here.
That was a fun show.
Next month,
very fun.
We're gonna pick a different date, because the first Sunday is the 3rd of July, and I think
the next Sunday is my mom's birthday. So
yeah, we're not messing with that. So we're gonna have a different date next month. Like, we gotta pick that still. We'll figure that out. We're kind of,
Yep.
I don't know,
And
we're
we're gonna
kinda
get the
slow
results,
on figuring
too.
this stuff out here.
We're
You
just,
know, we're a
we're
little
just flying by the seat of our pants, man. You know,
Pretty
We're
much,
trying to keep
That's
this fun.
That's the
you
way
know?
to do life. Just go with the flow.
there's
Yeah.
there's
Flow.
very little around here that's organized. Like
Yeah.
Chris tries
Yeah.
to keep us organized, and me and Mike are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Just go with it. Let the universe
winging it.
decide for you sometimes.
That's
It's the
right.
easiest
We're
way.
having a good time.
That's
I'm having a good
exactly
time.
right. We're
Yeah,
just
this has
we're,
been a
we're just
blast.
Having a
flying
good
through
time.
here.
Fallon,
All right, folks.
thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
coming on. That
Thank
was
you
some
so much
awesome
for
content.
having me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm honored. I'm honored. I wanted to tell Mr. Eric real quick that I actually learned how to recover a system through one of your YouTube videos. So it's
Oh,
a pleasure to
yeah.
meet
Eric's
you.
videos are awesome.
You
They
welcome.
are.
That's
They
really
are.
good
And it was
content.
cool to, and I've actually seen Mr. Chris too as well. So I was like, it's really cool to actually be here talking to y'all.
I gotta ask which one, because there's a couple of them out there.
It wasn't. I don't know. You definitely looked a little different. I don't know. I
He
don't know
looked
what you meant.
older.
It was about an hour long, and you
Maybe
had.
on was it on Jackson Systems?
I
maybe?
think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would watch some videos because just trying to learn,
Cool.
kind of get the idea. So yeah, I just
Well-
wanted to say thank you for the great
You're
presentation.
learning from the best, Fallon.
Yeah, I
You're learning
agree.
from
I
the
agree.
best.
I've learned in the industry that a lot of the people that I'm speaking with right now are great to know.
Jessica, we're gonna figure this out. We're getting to the bottom of it.
Yes, Jessica, we're working. Me and Mike are gonna get this going very, very soon. Very soon. It's
Thank
right
you guys
there.
for watching, and thank you everybody for
Yeah. Thanks
hitting up in the
everybody who's been
comments.
showing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
you
y'all
guys.
so much. Thank y'all for having me. It was great
Thank
to meet
you, Fallon.
everyone.
Yep. All right, folks. We are out. We will talk to you some point in time in July. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Salute.
Thanks for joining, and we will catch you next time on the HVAC Grapevine.